Well, I finally got you here. I got you, when I say got you here, you've been in Budapest, you've been in Florida, you've been in Dallas, you've been running around. I'm very worried about your sleep, Klaus. Very worried about your sleep. You're running all the time.
I'm sleeping great.
Are you?
Absolutely.
Yeah, what's that, 5 hours a day?
Between 5 and 6 hours.
Yeah, and that does it for you, huh?
Absolute.
Okay, do you know what we're going to do? We're going to talk about SecurityX for sure. I went to your show in Phoenix. I got to be honest, I was pretty impressed.
Yeah, it was a pretty good outcome for the first show. We planned on a very short notice. I had great help there, and pretty good outcome. Amazing speakers, great guests. We all were pretty happy with the outcome.
I never really been into executive protection. When I say been in it, I never had one, but I was real impressed with the team, some of the guys that came out there. Mike Trotter, Scott Walker. There was a lot of really good guys you had there. Learned a lot, actually. In fact, I've been reading Mike's book in addition to Chuck. We'll give you a shout-out, Chuck, right now. Mr. Andrews, Friends of Chuck, FOCs. Good to see you, Chuck, especially in Arizona. That was a lot of fun. We had a good time with you. Before we really jump into the SecurityX, I do this with everybody in a brief way. Tell us a little bit about you, where you came from, where you were born, family, and then we'll come back full circle.
My roots go back to Germany, born in the 70s, lived there all my life until I was 35, joined law enforcement when I was 18, been in law enforcement for almost 14 years, retired early to find new adventures, and a year and a half later I moved to the United States. My family still lives in Germany, brothers and sisters, and I'm glad I did the move. Of course, it changed a lot. It's an absolutely different environment here in the United States, but I never regretted to come here. It's home now, and definitely happy that I made the move, that I got the chance to make a move. And when I came here, I worked in upscale transportation and then went back into the security field, which I'm now been in security for almost 30 years.
30 years. Let me ask you a quick question. How's law enforcement in Germany? Let me go back. How did Germany look at law enforcement in the U.S.? Like, I was with LA County Sheriff. You got LAPD. We're very well known, right? The organizations. How was that organization looked at from Germany?
The duties are pretty similar. The training is a little different in Germany. It takes a bit between 2.5 and 3 years to become a law enforcement officer. You are getting a little bit more trained deeper into the law. The report writing is not like it is here in the United States, where you fill out a form and do some check marks. In Germany, you have to write reports pages long with the right paragraphs out of the law and stuff like that. So it's a little bit more, the educational part and then the trainings part is a little longer and a little bit more intense than it is here in the United States. But when it comes to the duties, they are pretty similar to what law enforcement officers do here in the United States.
Yeah, very interesting. 2.5 years?
Yes.
Is it like a college, an academy? Is it live-in?
It's an academy with basically it's an academy for the practical part, which also includes kind of law school. So when you're done, you're almost a lawyer in uniform.
Really?
Yeah, kind of thing. Yeah, I would say for the laws, every single law by the word. It's definitely more intense than it is here.
Okay, so we have our laws, meaning penal code, vehicle code, municipal code, those things. In Germany, it was with your penal code book that thick? Are you doing more civil and criminal? Or I just understand the 2.5 years.
So you are more trained in the criminal law. The civil laws, so we have different law enforcement agencies in Germany. So the civil law part or the laws within like city perimeters are enforced by a different agency. So it's basically a city agency. The police force there is basically a state agency. So what we learned is the state law and the federal law. And that's mostly what you learn in there. But very detailed and very down to the paragraphs.
Did you like it?
I loved it. It was great in the 90s. It changed a lot in the 2000s. Like everything changed when we went into the 2000s. 2007, I made a decision for myself, or 2006, I made a decision for myself that this is not me anymore. That's not what I want to do for the rest of my life. And so I early retired and worked after that. I had my own security company in Germany for 2 years. And I was lucky to win the green card in the lottery back then, and decided in 2010 to make the move to the United States.
Okay. What made you, because I have my own thing when I left law enforcement, Were you burnt out? Were you just, I did it, I seen it? I'm just curious because that's a big change going from law enforcement. That's career. You're spending 2.5 years in an academy. You're putting it all together. You either love it, you hate it. Was it because you couldn't grow within the department itself? It just felt like you're doing the same thing. You had to wait till somebody died to become a detective. What really took you from there to go, I'm just going to jump in the security business?
Actually, I have to say, I did a lot of different things during my time in law enforcement. I was working as an undercover narcotics officer. I was working in dignitary protection for several years before I even went and became a street police officer, like a street cop. So I did a lot of different things. So it was never the part that it was boring or that I was burned out. It was just back then I had some health issues in the early 2000s. And then in 2006, when I made a decision, I reflected and said, is that really what you want to do for the rest of your life? And the answer was no. I wanted to see more of the world. I wanted to travel, which can be that I missed the part when I did dignitary protection, traveling around, seeing the world, seeing different countries. I maybe was missing that part when I became a street cop in Frankfurt. I had that wanderlust to go and see the world and then do different things, and that's why I decided that this is not what I want to do for the rest of my life.
Yeah. It's funny how things change you, or why I changed, because I told you that was going to be my career for life, and then there was an event in my life that caused me to look a different direction. Do you think your health scare did that a little bit?
Parts of it, yes. You always vision something for yourself. You look and say, how do I see my life going? Especially if you have like events in your life where you think or where you rethink a lot of things. I think that's where you sometimes change the way you live and the way you continue to live. And I think that was happening when I got sick early 2000 and spent in the hospital for 4 months. I think that kind of triggered something in me. And then in 2006, then it was some other events. And just seeing that the police force is changing so much, like the way they're operating, the way people on the streets reacting to police, filming you. And then basically, you were always the bad guy, no matter what you did. Even if you did a good thing, you were the bad guy. And this was the reason for me to say, you know what, there's way more in the world than that. So let's just find new things to do and find new ways to live your life.
Okay, so did you retire or did you just resign?
I resigned. So in Germany, it's a little bit different than here. So there's no... So in Germany, basically, when you turn 27 years old, you become a lifetime, yeah, how I can say it. It's called Beamter of Life for life, which means like you are part of the government for life. So they cannot fire you if you don't get a conviction for more than a year and a day in jail. They cannot fire you even if you cut off your arm. They cannot fire you. They have to keep you within the force.
Okay, so how many years does that take?
It takes the event is until your 27th birthday. That's where it usually switches over where you get this. I did not get that status because of the health issues we had in early 2000. So it was delayed. And that was also a reason that I said, if I don't have the protection from the government, that something has happened to me. And Frankfurt is a pretty dangerous city. Being on the streets every day, fighting crime, the chances that something has happened to you are pretty high. Without that protection, I just didn't feel like that's something I should pursue.
I get you. I don't want to stay too much anymore on law enforcement, but I do want to ask you because everybody's going to wonder, like I would. What was the crime? What was the biggest part of crime? Gangs, drugs, disturbances? What was the biggest thing that you dealt with in Frankfurt?
So in the 90s and early 2000s, Germany is a little different than the US. We had less shootings, we had less very violent crime. So we had stabbings, we had fights, a lot of narcotics dealings, a lot of, what is it called?
Domestic
abuse cases, and a lot of traffic stop accidents and stuff like that.
Sure.
Even within the city. But there was not really the violent crime. We had some gangs. We were dealing with motorcycle gangs, the same like here. We had a pretty big presence of the big motorcycle gangs, which are also present in the United States. They usually had the red light districts and a lot of extortion and all that stuff. But the violent crimes really started in the last 10 years, where Germany became way more violent.
Oh, okay. All right. So now it goes to security. Now, EP work, executive protection, or standing guard type stuff. What did you do? What was your vertical as far as what did you start with? For an example, commercial, retail, tell us, let's get into that, and then we're going to roll right into SecurityX and what you're doing today. But
Sure. So I worked in every aspect of security. If it was like a standing guard for a retail store, if it was as a security guard for a bar, being at the door. But for the most part, after being in dignitary protection for the government, I pursued a career in active protection. And that's what I do for the last 6 years. So that's my daily bread and butter, basically.
EP stuff.
Yes.
And you did that for how long?
I did it 5 years with the government, and then I do it now again for 4 or 5 years here in Florida.
Okay. In Florida.
Yes.
Okay, that's where you put it together. Okay, so you've gone through all the pain of running a security team, hiring people, dealing with clients. For how long?
As I said, after I left the police force, I had my own security company in Germany.
Okay.
I had it there for 3.5 years before I made the move over to the United States. I switched fields when I moved here. I went into more like the transportation industry, upscale transportation. And when I moved back to Florida in 2021, things happened and I got drawn back into the security industry. I opened my own company there. I had a private investigation company and a security company license, and started working active protection events and stuff like that with different teams. And that's where I found out all the pains they have here in the United States, so all the issues they have in different areas of running a business. So and that's,
Is it harder here in the U.S. versus Germany?
It is, because for once, Germany is way smaller. It's all under one law. So here in the United States, different state laws. If you move with a client or anything, you need different teams from different states. It's a lot more administrative work and organizational work. So it is a little bit easier in Germany. The opportunities here in the United States are much bigger, and that's for sure. But yeah, it's way different then.
Yeah, we're a different world here, right? We're a way different world. Was that shocking for you when you got here? You're straightforward. Okay, we went to dinner the other night. You get on menu, you've got it figured out in 2 seconds, right? You're just, what did we say the other day when we were talking? Like, I come up to you here in California and go, hey, how are you doing? And I really don't want to hear about how you're doing. I'm just saying, how you doing? It's like saying hello, right? But in Germany, you say that, you're going to carry a conversation.
You would definitely answer the question and trying to get into a full-scale conversation with that individual because he's asking you a question. So in Europe, it means you want to have an answer. It's a little different here, but it didn't shock me because before I came to the US in 2010, I was obviously traveling to the US 2 to 3 times a year, starting from 2002. So I knew what I have to expect here. I had a lot of friends here, and so the move was not that hard. It was not a cultural shock to come here and say, oh my God, it's so different. I knew what I had to expect. So from that aspect, it was not really surprising. I'm very world open, so I think I can go anywhere in the world and start over and can make it. I'm very open to cultures. I'm very open to people. I'm very open to different countries. And I think that was also one part why I decided to leave Germany and just go out and find out what is there in the world.
Yeah, you definitely got that entrepreneur in you, that's for sure, no question. All right, now let's go into SecurityX because we're going to talk about what you're doing today in regards to not only the show that you're putting on, because you're branding yourself right now, right? But you're putting together a platform. I looked at it. You're putting a platform together for the hiring side. So what made you get into that? What started SecurityX and what made you get into wanting to put this platform together?
So as I told you, in 2021, when I moved to Florida, I opened my own company, my own security company. And I had a lot of people there who supported me, and I got a lot of contracts right at the beginning. And being new in the industry, of course, you're thankful for every contract you get and to grow your company. But it also basically put me right in front of all the issues. So I got a big contract back then in Orlando, and I needed 10 EP guys for a week. And so I started reaching out to my networks, looking online, posting jobs on Indeed and other platforms, and just trying to get 10 qualified people based on what I think qualifies people to work with me and for my clients. And it took me literally 10 days to find the people, to onboard them, to interview them, to onboard them. And it's a lot of work. It's a lot of work, and it's not easy. People think, yeah, there's so many people out there looking for work, but to find the right people, that's the hard part. And so it took me about 10 days. And after that, after we finished the assignment, I was like, there must be something out there which makes it easier, so let's do research. So I started researching the internet. I asked other people in the industry, do you know of anything which can help you? And there was nothing. There were the Facebook groups, the WhatsApp groups. That's still what we're using today to hire people. The problem I see in there is you don't know what you get. You hire somebody based on a name, based on maybe a resume, but to be honest with you, how many resumes are not real? How many resumes are fake, or there's something added, or they're like a little bit modified to where it sounds nicer than what it is? I never hired anybody on a resume. I hired people because of the way I align with them in a conversation and the feeling I have about the person. Of course, I want to see that there's a background, there's experience, but for me, it's much more who is that person. It's not what's on the paper.
Yeah. Now, as he's way different than security, you're going to get a better person, obviously. Somebody from executive protection is going to be able to fill out their application, right? Because they're more skilled in writing. They have usually a law enforcement / military background. And then you got the guard industry, which is a chronic labor issue. Not just a chronic labor issue, it's because there's so many applicants, the turnover is so high. It's not probably the best. You're not going to get the best candidates because the wage, it's minimum wage. And you can go to McDonald's today and wash a dish for $25 an hour, become a security guard, risk your life, dress like a police officer, and get paid maybe $18 or $19 an hour if you're lucky. And then if you're lucky, you're going to get your paycheck on time, right? Or it's up to you. Wash a dish or go protect a dirt lot at a construction site, right? How do we solve that issue? How do we solve that issue? Even though you got ZipRecruiter, you got Indeed, there's a lot of companies that are trying to solve this issue. But what I found out was you could have a list of 10 people and I could pass it. But if you're business yourself and you're not a good manager and you're just having some kid make phone calls, if you really don't understand the pain and the thought process of the industry, especially when you're first starting out, you say, oh, here you go, Gary. Do me a favor, call these people. There's a lot more to just calling these people. That guy has to be pretty personal. Today, nobody really knows how to talk to anybody because they've been on their cell phones for all their life, right? They really don't know how to communicate. So, hey, did you call for a job? What do you mean? Yeah, who's this? Oh, yeah, this is ABC Security. I noticed you put an application in, right? It really starts with the call. Whether it's a text message, it's an email, it's a phone. How are people going to communicate with that applicant to bring them in when you got 10 other security companies either chasing them down? It's a big business. Where do you think you're going to go that's going to really make you different?
The first thing is SecurityX is all about building a community. So we are not just there to match people with jobs. We want to build a community where we educate and where we support people in their way of learning that security is more than just a job. You can have a career. And I think that's where the problem starts, is that we don't educate security guards enough to tell them, look, you can be the security guard today, but if you put in some work and if you put in and you maybe have somebody to help you, guide you, and then mentor you, in 2 years from now, you can make a six-figure income very easily. Security is growing every single year. I think it's just the mindset that we say, this is just a security guard. Yeah, we all started there. Everybody started somewhere at the beginning. Even if you come from law enforcement, you started as a rookie at your job and had to learn the ropes as a law enforcement officer, and then you had a transition which was easier in security. But if I have somebody who starts up in security and I'm not educating that person, that's not his fault. It's the fault of the industry not helping that person to find their best and growing within the industry.
Okay. Bring us some valid points, and we talked about this, right? And I'd love to help you with this as well. And I know Chuck Andrews is obviously helping as well. But it is a community. It's educating the owners and managers and operators. I think I love that side of the SecurityX to say, hey, number one, we're all on the same page, right? We all come from the same gene pool, right? Including from the guards, right? The thought process. And it's very discouraging for an owner to try to hire people. Industry we don't have the best reputation, and we do need to change that. And law enforcement is really, their hands are tied. they are having the same problems getting people hired, right? So now clients are asking for the security companies to step up and take the roles of police officers, which is for minimum wage. It's just not fair, and it's also dangerous. Anybody in uniform walking around now, and so it's going to be a very tough career. And we do have to make those changes, and I think that's where you're trying to go with this. At least with our conversation here for the past couple of days, right? Correct. We have to build a community to try to change the mindset, to educate, change behavior, and create a better company, create a better culture, so we can pass that down to the group to let them know that, hey, this could be a career. We do want to help you. We think the industry is going to grow. It is.
We know the industry is growing, but for instance, the last couple of months, I spent a lot of time going to different training courses just to see what is required from security officers to become a security officer, or even what is required for them to stand out from other security officers. I have to tell you that most of these trainings I did, they stuck in the 90s. They're still like very, very boring and they're educating people, but not in the way it should be in 2025. We have to create better ways of training, more interactive, to encourage people to really listen to what's in the training and not just looking at the screen and clicking on an arrow to get into the next slide. Getting away from the slideshows, do it more interactive, more in-person training. We have to encourage company owners to invest in their people, into training, to make them better. Security industry in the next couple of years, we will see that they're taking more and more over to fill that gap. What police is like, nobody wants to be in police officer anymore. And I get it. For the money they make, risking their life every single day. We see it every single day in the news. Police officers get attacked and whatever. So security has to fill that gap. And we need more professional security staff out there who acts like a professional security officer. Again, training is a very important part. Education is a very important part. And that's where we want to start to help people to get a better training, to better network, to find mentors, to help them to become a better security officer, and security companies to find the better staff.
Yeah.
Vision InSites is the simplest, most powerful security guard management software. No long training, no complicated systems. Guards can start reporting in minutes. Train your teams with micro trainings, attaching video to individual checkpoints to walk them through sensitive procedures. Submit accurate reports every time with dynamic observations that automatically rewrite, categorize, and prioritize, removing human error. And grow your business with daily, monthly, and quarterly insights, the most advanced reports available today. Vision InSites, the simplest, most powerful way to report.
Training's different. Okay. I ran several companies myself, and I was real proactive in training as much as I could be, but I'm going to be honest with you. This industry, and you guys know, I'm going to hit a point, they don't want to train half the time. Because why am I going to invest in somebody who isn't going to be around tomorrow? I don't want to train him right up front, but I need to train him up front, right? It's difficult enough to even train them on the job, to go out there and do their job correctly, and how to even do that. Then you're asking me to go meet the state qualifications so I don't get sued. And that's pretty much what the training is. Give me enough training where BCIS doesn't come in, knock on my door, and take me out of business. Okay, so I'm going to do the minimums. I'm going to do the paperwork. And in fact, you know what? I don't even care about that. Go in there, take the test. I just want to have my file cabinet done. So when they come in, I can say, I gave you the test. I don't care if you comprehend. I don't care if you learned anything. I'm just covering my liability. Just like everybody else, because you're not going to be here for a week or 2 weeks and you're going to go work for another company. So we're flipping these guys back and forth. Then what training's out there is so archaic or so cartoonish, right? You're torturing the kid to sit there before he even fills out his application and watch a training video. He just wants to get through it. And then he needs to be supervised because he's in a room watching this, right? And by the way, I need your phone. Why? Because he's going to be on his phone while he's watching your training thing, right? And he won't pass the test, right? Because he's not watching it. His comprehension level is very low, right? How do you get past that? So it keeps going and going, right? It all sounds great. What you're telling me sounds great. But in reality, that's what it is. Now, how do we improve that? Is it a dollar amount? Do we pay them more? Right? Say, hey, you got to take this test if you really want to be a supervisor. But what are you paying them? How do we keep that career? So it's not until the client steps up and goes, hey, we want to make a change. They all want to make a change. And they're all coming to that guard on the properties, and they're telling these guards, by the way, I need you to do this. By the way, they are setting the demands because the police aren't there. They're asking, hey, you guys need to kick that person off the property or grab that person and remove them from the property. No, the old days, in the very beginning in training was you're a walking, talking burglar alarm. That's what you are. You observe and you report, right? You're a visual deterrent. You're not the police, all right? Because that put the company in liability. And the client needed to understand that, right? So we're here to visually deter. We see a crime, we get on the phone, we call 911, the police come, the police do their job, and then we give them all the best information we can, and we try to write it down, right? So we've spent years and years now developing real-time reporting to make that a lot easier for the guards, right? We've got it now with my tool where all they got to do is talk now. We're actually correcting their spelling, and we're doing all that, and we're helping them with the photographs, and we're helping with the reporting. But it is a very tough, and you can see just where I'm talking right now. I'm frustrated as well because I want to improve the industry. That's what we're doing. That's what we're trying to do. That's why you're here. That's why we're having these conversations. So if we're going to open a hiring platform and bring SecurityX in, we're going to change a culture. I want to be a part of that. And we've talked about that. But we really have to get the community, the mindset to bring those owners together, tell them we're going to be around for a long time. I'm going to share my 30 years of experience. Chuck's coming in. He's got a huge background. You got a huge background. We're all like-minded. Let's see if we can change this a little bit. Okay? So great. We got an organization now, but how do we bring the people in and make our company successful? All right, to do that. So we got, when it comes to guards itself, I'm just going to go through some of the notes. High turnover, right? Same guards applying over and over. Ghost interviews, no shows from the guards. 70% not qualified. How do you filter the junk candidates out? How am I doing, guys? I'm sure everybody watching this right now is in 100% in agreement, right? Indeed, ZipRecruiter, Craigslist, right? Facebook. How are we going to really make a difference?
So what I think is, and that's also where we're putting a lot of thoughts in as a company, is what is a security guard doing after he gets fired from a job for maybe sleeping? He's getting right back into the pool and gets the next job with the next company.
Yep.
Because we're not holding anybody accountable for what they're doing. Now, SecurityX is a little different. There's a rating system for the security companies and the security guards. Means after a job or within the job, a security guard can rate the security companies working for based on the supervision he's getting, based on the payments. A lot of security companies have issues with payments sometimes. But also the security company can rate the security guard. And there are certain things which will disqualify you from being on our platform. For a company, if they're not paying their guys based on their agreements, they will be kicked off the platform.
Yep.
For the security guards, the same thing. If they sleep on the job or do certain things which are unethical, we're going to kick them off the platform.
Okay. But you bring up a good point, and we're working together on this, and I like your platform. But I'm going to be honest with everybody here, because this is super, super important. Because if we don't say this, they're just going to think you're another applicant tool. You're in the process of putting this together, okay? And it's coming along great. But what you just said a little bit back about we're going to have a platform where the guards can talk about the security companies, and the security companies can talk about the guards, correct?
Correct.
Okay. What you're going to hear from the owners is, listen, I'm not going to have somebody from the dumb gene pool go in and badmouth my security company because they're always unhappy, right? They lie about why they got terminated, and they're just going to beat me up. It's no different than a Google review when you got somebody who doesn't like you and just wants to torture the heck out of you online. It's horrible. So we have to be very careful with
Absolutely.
that. So you have to establish with that group that, hey, we're going to be very selective on the people we bring to you. We're going to try to eliminate a lot of that. But the goal is that's going to happen. But how are we going to combat that? And that's going to be using your tools that you're developing right now to make it easier for the guard to go in and fill an application, because we all know he's not going to sit there and say, yes, it all started, I was born in 1978, and his bio is going to look horrible. And his attention span is very short as well. So the application process has to be very quick.
Absolutely.
And it really comes with have them submit a quick application. Your team's going to take it, look at it. You got a professional in the back end that has been taught and trained through the SecurityX program how to answer those questions, because a job duty for a construction site to a commercial to a school is way different.
Correct.
Okay? Cities, Beverly Hills, Los Angeles, the client itself, they're going to want a certain caliber of people, right? So all that thought process is built into your program that you're doing now, you guys, with SecurityX. So it's the 30 years of talking, not only you being in the industry, but talking to people such as myself and other operators, so we can really come to a platform that's built for the industry, like-minded platform that's built with the industry. And then the development side will always be a constant communication with your client, your personnel, which is the security industry, to constantly improve the platform.
Not just that, as I told you, Chris, it is a community. So we are trying to bring in the smartest people out of the industry. We want to partner up with people like yourself or other companies who have established successful tools, successful workflows in the industry. We want to bring in people who are very established in the industry to help us to build the perfect tool, not just the tool, the perfect tool for the industry. We want to improve the tool by getting the input from the users. So we're not just building a tool and say, okay, that's our tool, use it. We want to get the feedback from the users about the good, the bad, and the ugly to say, hey, I like it, but maybe have you thought about this? And then we can think about if it makes sense to implement it or not. We are very flexible in how to develop. We have our in-house development team. This tool was built for the industry. So it's not that we are a company saying, hey, this is our tool, use it or don't use it. This tool is built for the industry, and we want the industry to basically have a look at it, a critical look at it, and say, it's great, but it could improve if you do this or this and this. We want to get that feedback, and so we can improve. Again, we want to create the perfect tool for the industry to exactly do what you said. We want to help the industry to become better. We want to help to improve the process in hiring, selecting, and also managing people at the end with our partners. And so that is the goal.
Yeah. Klaus, it's just like I told you, I'd love to really help you with this project. I've been in the industry for a very long time. I worked with over 4,000 security companies. I've heard it. I felt it. So I think we can come out of the gate pretty darn strong in the beginning, right? And the rest will be cleanup work, right? Because you talk about the good, bad, and ugly. I'm going to start this way. Bad, bad, ugly, ugly, pain in the ass, hard, hard, hard. And then, there's some good in it. So we're aware of all the pain issues, right? So the foundation is great. You're going to the right people to build this out. So by the time you get ready to release this product, I think you'll be there. And there's just a little bit of fine-tuning, of course. But the problem with software, everybody always wants to overbuild. So you really have to take your market and evaluate, is this a need for everybody? So you don't overbuild your core product, right? Or it's too difficult to use, because the application process has to be very easy, very simple, very quick for the start, for the person that's interested in applying for the job, right? This would be very simple. So this is what we're talking about with what he's trying to build, you guys, on the SecurityX platform. Is a very basic tool that makes it very easy for the applicant to go in, fill out the information, and then, of course, the AI is going to take that over and speed that up very quickly so you can pass it on to the operations people. And then the community itself will have the educational tools and platform to where your teams can know how to answer the right questions. And a lot of that will probably be AI-based too, to make it simple for them. So it's quick and easy, user-friendly. And again, it's useful, not just another software subscription. He's not trying to do that to create a software business. You are like-minded with me. You want to build a community, and you want to try to solve a problem. And you realize it's not going to happen overnight, but the shows that you do, the communities that we build it, we got a pretty good chance of building a really nice race car. There's going to be competition, but I think this race car will be a little different.
No, I agree with you. And, I think we are having a pretty good start here. And again, there's a lot of work to do. So the next couple of years, it's going to be developing, modifying, improving, bringing new ideas in, bringing new partners in. But that's just what it is. You can't change the industry overnight. That's too long of a process, too long of a... We waited too long. The industry is basically doing the same things for too long that we can change it overnight. So it is a process, and it's the same with the software, with your software, with our software. We constantly improving and adding to it, listening to the market, and do what we have to do to make it the best tool out there.
Yeah, we're at a perfect time right now with AI.
Yeah.
AI really opens the door. You've come into this game right in the beginning of that, right? So it can only go up, right? But to build something and to make it work, having those resources and the connections is definitely going to give you an advantage. This isn't being built on a napkin in Pakistan, okay? It's with a group of professionals that have been in the industry for a very long time. You've been building that brand. You've been bringing people into this network. So let's go. Let's talk about how does somebody get involved with SecurityX? What do you want from them right now? Come into your page. It's not all there. It's being built out. Sign up. Put your company. Walk them through that. How do we get people involved in the SecurityX?
So right now we are basically in, the product is working. However, there's a lot of work still to do to improve the workflows, improve the design and stuff like that. But what we like to do, or what we ask people to do, is to sign up, create an account, play around with it. Right now, there's no charges. It's absolutely free for security officers, security agents, so they never will pay a dime. The companies, it's all free to use at the moment for the next 90 days or even longer. We want people to create an account, play around a little bit, let us know what they like, what they don't like, how useful it is for them, what they think we should change, and stuff. Give us information so we can modify and we can adjust. And that's all we ask for. And there's no risk for a company or no risk for an officer involved or anything. We're not saying, hey, put your credit card on file. We don't ask for anything. All we ask for is sign up, create an account, test it, see how you like it, see how easy it is to use, to set up an account, to set up a profile, and let us know what you think.
And everybody's very busy. I know that for a fact. So the other thing when I was talking to Klaus about this is that you guys just get in and subscribe, okay? Pretty much. It's going to keep you updated and tell you exactly where it's going, what's coming. And the only way we can do that is if you get on the platform and you put your information in. If you have time, please jump in, play with it, offer some advice. But the good part is you may want to attend some of the shows that he's doing, meet the groups, right? You have any questions? I know you're always available, right?
Absolutely.
Yeah, to take those questions. But the big part is sign up so you can get the information via text message. I know Klaus can be very careful on what he's delivering. Like you guys are really busy, so there'll be short bursts of information for you to keep you updated on the platforms. You can see where it's going and encourage you, all right? Obviously, you can build your product better, but again, you keep everybody informed at the same time.
Yeah, so we mostly keep everybody informed through social media. We're trying to build a very strong presence there. As you just mentioned, we have 6 events planned for 2026. The next 2 are in Florida in January and February, followed by Dallas, Los Angeles, Atlanta, and then New York by the end of the year. And we hope that, everybody out of these areas is joining us just for a nice networking night. We're going to have industry speakers there to talk a little bit about the changes in the industry, but it's mostly about networking and fun. So we want people to talk to each other, meet other people out of the industry, get more information, maybe even create new relationships with other people, maybe find a job. Talk to people, find a job with a company. Companies find subcontractors in other areas. So that's what it's all about. So it's all about the networking and having fun. And while we're doing that, building a great platform.
So let's recap on that. Your next show coming up is
January 15th.
January 15th.
In Tampa at Grand Cathedral Cigar.
Okay.
That is the next show. If you join us on Facebook or Instagram, the information are there. But we also can give you the information if you give me a call or a text. I can send you the invite, followed by February 13th in Pompano Beach, Miami.
Okay.
We're going to be in Dallas on April 9th.
Okay.
Followed by Los Angeles in June.
Okay.
Atlanta in September, and then New York in November.
Okay, so you're doing the tour.
Yes.
Okay, very good. And again, I have in fact I was at the Phoenix SecurityX show. I did like it. I usually don't like going to trade shows. They're painful at times. Everybody's so competitive, a bunch of booths, long conversations. But this was a good show. Chuck did a fantastic job being the MC, of course. They had great speakers. They were very entertaining. That was fun. The atmosphere was great. You did a good job finding the atmosphere. I liked the way you did that. And there wasn't a bunch of booths where I didn't feel like I was walking around a trade show. You had a couple key people there, but it was interesting. And then everybody got along real well. And then everybody sat and smoked their cigars in the corner over there if you wanted to hang out afterwards. There was good food, right? Good drinks. And it wasn't too long. It was actually, what was it, about 4 hours?
We have about 4 hours. We usually do the events from 6 to 10, where the first hour is basically just getting everybody registered and signed in, and then have 2 speakers max to give a little bit of an update. But again, we want to keep these events very entertaining. Means like we want to have the networking part, that's the main part. So it's 2.5, 3 hours of networking and then just having a drink, eating something from the buffet, talking to other people. It's not, we don't want to just do another trade show or conference or something stiff where people just sit on a table and listen to somebody for 3 hours. We want to do something where people move around, talk to a bunch of people, meet a bunch of people, learn about the industry, learn about other people, their pains and their issues, and so to see what's really going on in the industry.
No, I thought you did that very well. I really did. I went for a reason. I really did, because I wanted to see the show, because I'm interested in sponsoring, being a part of that, and obviously attending the shows itself. But I wanted to make a good use of my time. And I will tell you, if you guys come out to the show, there's value, really good value. And I think you'll make some friends. Everybody there was very nice too. And here's the other thing. If you guys are going to go onto the website and you're going to fill the information, I'm going to say this for you, because this is real important. Just be respectful, okay? And if you guys want to come to the show, fill out, because what Klaus does, he's got pins, he's got information cards he puts together. So when you come there, you're ID'd, you're welcome at the door, all right? So if you're coming, please come. If you fill out the information, fill it out with intention to coming to this show, because, again, all that cost to put that together. This is a brand new business, it's a brand new event, so he's very careful with costs. He can continue doing these shows in these different cities. So just be respectful, and just same thing, what you guys would want if you were doing these trade shows. But just want to throw that out there, so we appreciate you doing that. Anything else, Klaus, you can think of in that end? What's the future look like? Community, you got your platform, putting that together. You're doing your road tour.
Correct.
You're always looking for great guest speakers, right?
Yes.
And sponsors, if you're interested. If they're interested in being a sponsor, who do they contact for that?
They can contact either me or Chuck. They can go to the website at info@joinsecurityx.com.
Okay.
Send us an email if you're interested in being part of it, want to have more information about sponsorships, or even just coming to the event. Just reach out to us. And yeah, what's next is literally just 2026. We think will be a great year for all of us. We're looking for more partners to join us in in the movement we want to do and making the industry a better place. Look for more people like yourself, Chris, and the other people we met and joined us as advisors or partners to grow our network, to grow our company, and then just move on for 2026.
Yep, 100%. Let's recap the website. It's joinsecurityx.com?
Correct. It's joinsecurityx.com.
Okay. And eventually, is that going to go to securityx.com, or it's just join SecurityX right now?
For now, it's just joinsecurityx.com.
Okay.
There might be some changes in the long run, but for now.
Okay. Fantastic. I look forward to coming to your trade shows. You guys, it's worth the trip. Again, stay connected. Provide any feedback that you can when you come into the site. We look forward to seeing you at the SecurityX shows, right? Again, we'll put all that contact information so you can DM you, right? Is that the proper term?
DM me or whatever, Facebook, WhatsApp, whatever you want. I'm really good in responding, so I usually respond within a couple hours, the latest, but usually right on the spot.
Okay, fantastic. So the end goal is help us help you, right?
Correct.
Okay, very good. But you know what? Listen, I will have you back. Obviously, you and I will be talking quite a bit, right? So we can take this platform and community in a whole different direction. I'm obviously very excited about building the community. I'm doing that myself. I think it works pretty good with you involved too. So again, thank you for coming, and we got to definitely have you back, and we'll give a progress report. What do you think of that?
I would love to be back next year and see what we got in a year from now.
Yeah, actually, we'll make it sooner than that, because we want to keep everybody updated. I think we can use this platform to do that. Plus, you'll obviously be on another podcast too. But main thing is sign up, join SecurityX.com, put your information in, obviously to keep updated, and we look forward to seeing you at the shows.
Yes, absolutely. Thank you so much.
Thank you, Klaus.
Comment, like, share, and subscribe.